Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started, Lillian. Again, thanks again for taking time of your schedule to talk to the group. So let's go ahead and start with, what got you into real estate?
I actually started out in real estate not intending to become an agent. I was a corporate executive at in the marketing field in the beauty industry, something completely different.
Yeah,
I've been doing that for 15 years and totally got jaded with the politics. I loved my job. I traveled worldwide, but then just the politics got to me. So I decided to take a break from my career. And in my break, I originally started real estate thinking I just want to invest and I mistakenly thought that getting a license would teach me anything about real estate. But in reality, it didn't do it. So when I got my license, the team lead at Keller Williams, Torrey, was here, and he was the one who convinced me, like, hey, you work so hard on your license, might as well try and see what it's like. I met him, and I think Sonia just joined around that time.
right.
Really bonded with both of them. So I thought, what the hell, I'll just give it a try. And I ended up just completely falling in love with real estate and the agent side, which I was super surprised because I was always in marketing, but I always thought I hated sales and I didn't want to go into sales. So it's kind of how I started. And then the whole journey just kind of took off. I love the flexibility. I loved connecting with people. It was great. And it was great to, and I have to say, I give a lot of credit to Keller Williams South Bay. A lot of the agents at Keller Williams South Bay, I think coming from a toxic corporate environment, I was kind of jaded in the beginning, like, why is everyone so nice? Like, why is everyone helping me? What do you guys want in return? Are these people wanting something in return? And in the end, everyone was just like, don't worry, just pay it forward. And it really is, to this day, 2 years, nobody's asked me of anything. They really are all just super nice. And I heard that while it is Keller Williams culture, I think it's a South Bay specific thing in our office too. So I think I've been really lucky to have a lot of really, really great mentors.
That is awesome, Lillian. And you hit a very core to me, what you said about the culture here at KW South Bay, and I know that Calabasas, a lot of the agents in Calabasas are on this call. And I believe I have not had an opportunity just yet to head out to the Calabasas, but one day, Calabasas, I'm going to shoot out there with Stephanie and kind of check the vibe over there because they have something similar and very dynamic as well with their culture, and I think that's very important, how you line yourself up, for success, but ultimately, right, is who you surround yourself with as well, because, for team leaders, their number one goal is to help motivate, inspire, and then help you take wherever you want your business to go. And that's very, very, very important. And just, the fact that you've been in this industry for, less than 4 years and how you've been able to scale your business. So going back to 2019, talk to us a little bit about 2020 and then how that transition, and then more so, the impact 2021 has done for your business. And then maybe you can also share with us, some of the systems you utilize to really grow your business.
So I started in 2019, and I think I started in March. I had my first deal. I was so excited. I had my first deal in August. Another plug to KW, random lead that came through Keller Williams White Pages, an agent out in Vegas who used to be a Keller Williams agent. And she said, I spoke Mandarin. She had a listing for 1.5 fourplex. And as a new agent, that was like, I was just over the moon. So that's kind of how I started in August. And then I would say 2019, my first year was rough. As a new agent, you're like, but I loved it. Again, I was doing a lot of open houses. I was lucky in that, looking back, I'm lucky I started right before the pandemic, because as a new agent, open houses and just, again, networking with all the different agents really, really helps you get that start. And I was, again, super lucky. So 2019, I just kind of hustled. I did Bold. I think I joined in March, and then in May, I jumped right into Bold. And for any new agents on the call, I highly recommend it. It really pushed me out of my comfort zone. I remember up until then, I never did a single cold call, and I never wanted to. And when you're put in a room and everyone's calling, you're like, crap, what do I do now? I guess I have to call. And that's really what pushed me out of my comfort zone. But 2019, I want to say I had a few sales, like 4 or 5 sales. And then the pandemic hit, and I think 2020, I was really surprised. 2020 and 2021 actually took my business to a whole new level. To be completely honest, I haven't quite figured out how or why or whatnot. And I think a lot of it is to do with my network, and my business actually now is 100% referral. So I am embarrassed to admit, but I actually am not doing all the stuff I was taught, being, lead generating and cold calling and things like that. I haven't done that probably since Bold, but I do lead generate through my clients, my network, my social, and I don't really think of it as lead generating. I think for me, it's really just keeping in touch with people and saying hi and connecting. And the only thing I probably do is I post on my social media any transactions I'm in or anything I'm doing or anything about real estate. And so people kind of, it's that thing we always talk about, top of mind, and that's always helped. And so 2020, 2021, it's I don't know, the business took off, and again, I'm still figuring out the formula behind it. You mentioned about systems and networking and what do I do? I think one thing I wanted to share is, I don't know if anybody else does this, but I actually do leverage a lot of my relationships, not just with my clients in my social sphere, but other agents. I think a lot of times, especially as a new agent, coming from a toxic corporate environment, I had then thought, oh, the agents are my competitors. They're, it's cutthroat, and it's, we have to watch out for it. But in reality, again, the KW culture and the people at our offices are super nice. And what I ended up doing is not only networking within Keller Williams South Bay, but outside of Los Angeles. So a lot of my leads actually come from, I team up with the #1 team up at the Keller Williams in the Bay Area. So a lot of the huge, it's funny because the clients, that we joke that the clients up there are so much bigger than down here, because their budgets to them, like 2 million is nothing, because they're coming from the Bay Area. And then I shoot them out, they're like, oh, your clients are so much smaller, Lillian. But the team up there is great. They send down referrals all the way. Again, networking with them. I have some people in Dallas, some people in Florida. Florida came out from getting certified as an international property specialist, the SIPS program. And so you network with people outside the brokerage as well as I'm part of the global committee team at the South Bay Association of Realtors. And so networking with all these other different agents, I have to say, like, probably about 10 or 15% of my leads come from other agents. The other way, I'm sorry?
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, and that includes listings and buyers. It's not just buyers. And then I think, I forgot what I was gonna just about to touch on. Anyway, so leveraging those relationships. It's not just a referral program, which I know a lot of different agents do. So what I do is, I kind of, especially once in the very beginning, when you're a new agent, I think you take on anything and everything, and you're so hungry for business. And then once you start scaling up and it starts getting really busy, like at some point, I'm in 4 escrows at the same time, and there's really only one person, and you can't be at 4 different places at the same time. So I really started leveraging these relationships I have with these agents to really help me out. One of my biggest partners is on here, Maeve. She's here from Portugal. She and I teamed up. I can't even remember how we initially connected. I think I just heard a lot of really great things about this agent. As a new agent, I'm like, oh, I want to get to know this person, learn. Went out to coffee, and I just loved her vibe. And she's one of the most ethical agents I know, very above the board. I think one of the few I know who's been in the business for a while, but she does her business like she just started. Meaning she's super hardworking, super diligent. Like she never gets like, oh, been there, done that, whatever. Let me just get by. It's anyway. So agents like her. So what I do is, when I have so many different askers or I have different leads, sometimes it's by the client and the client's personality and what a good match it would be. Sometimes it's by geographical location. So I have partners, even within LA, it's like I have partners on the west side, out in San Gabriel Valley, and further out in Pomona area where it's a little bit further. My point is that I actually partner with these agents 50-50, and we split everything. And I love it because yes, you do split your commission 50-50. I was joking with Simon, looking back, I'm like, oh, so this year I could have doubled in my GCI. But I wouldn't trade it for the world because I think I get my sanity back. You get the camaraderie when, excuse my French, but when shit hits the fan, you have someone to brainstorm with. And I think in certain situations, certain personalities handle different situations differently. And to calm the client down, it really is in the best interest of the client. So I always joke with my clients, they get 2 for the price of 1. Or sometimes in some cases, now that I built my team with Gordon, they get, three for the price of one or four for the price of one. Anyway, point being, I guess the word I'm looking for is you're able to leverage your time and your effort and your energy by really maximizing in these relationships. And I think it's really, really helped. And again, building those, that network. And again, when we form those relationships, or when I did, a lot of leads come through that way. So it's kind of like a give and take. It's never like, oh, I give you three and you give me three. It's really not like that. It's more, we all just kind of help each other out.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. Now, when when did you started thinking and implementing the idea that maybe I should leverage myself through other agents? Did that happen this year, or was that something that was brewing last year in 2020?
I think it started even in 2019, because as a new agent, I'm sure most of you guys know, when you first start out, you really don't know anything. You don't know what you're doing. You get into your first transaction. And Sonia is awesome as my coach. Thank God for her. There's like 10 p.m. calls, 2 a.m. calls. But it gets to a point. So it started really early in 2019. Whenever I had a lead, I think I felt really insecure in the beginning, not knowing what I'm doing. So I would team up with a very experienced agent or someone who I felt like I bonded with, someone like Maeve, and JR, and I missed that guy, teamed up on projects together. And so it started then, and I realized the beauty of working with someone. Teresa Workman was another one. The beauty of working with someone experienced, and again, even as I gain more experience, it's not just building on someone's experience, but it's like people have, and as you guys know, every single transaction is very different, and people have handled very different situations. Like Maeve has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to some of these tricky situations. And so I think it started back in 2019. And again, I think coming from my previous career, I just always liked the camaraderie of a team. I owned my own business before, and I think it can really get lonely. And I think in real estate, it can too. Sometimes you have to do everything yourself or whatnot. So I think I kind of played with it in 2019 because I was a new agent. And I've talked to several agents and they're like, why do you keep splitting your commission? Stop splitting your commission. And I get it, but then I think it just kind of works for me. And I really think it's a Keller Williams thing too, where, what you give out, you get tenfold in back or tenfold in return. And I think for me, that's just kind of worked out well.
I love it. I'm a true believer to that, the power of leverage and, utilizing the people that can just help you navigate, like commercial as an example,
Yeah.
Retail, multifamily, right?
Yeah.
Tapping into the people that are very knowledgeable, very experienced in that. And it's okay if it helps you grow, get a better understanding of the process from A to Z, then it serves its purpose, right? Because on the next one, you'll have a better sense of understanding of how that process goes. So I'm a true believer to that leverage of people that are better than me, and that's
Absolutely.
Even with leadership too. This is why I lean to the people that are better, that I do it at a higher level, higher scale, because they're actually doing something that is working, so I love that. I love that.
And I think clients really appreciate it too. I'm actually generally very, very transparent with my clients. I don't tell them straight up, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's more like, hey, you're interested in this. I'm going to bring on someone who's, super, like they actually appreciate the transparency. I think again, in my KW training, you learn, especially as a new agent, to say, I may not know everything, but I'll find out for you what we need to know. Like I'm going to do everything I can. And so sort of that same thread or same vein of transparency and honesty, I think clients actually feel that, and they rather you not pretend to know what you're doing, which I see agents do all the time, and then be transparent with them and get someone on board who actually does know what they're doing. That being said, I want to plug in for all these agents on here coming up. I have some bigger multifamily. Maven, you and I need to talk. So I'm getting into a realm. It's a lot bigger. It's 5 million. It's 5+. So anybody who is very familiar in that realm, I first admit I am not familiar in that realm, and I would love to partner up with someone for those.
All right. Well, we got a lot of agents on this call, so this is an opportunity to tap into a potential $5 million deal. So that's awesome, Lillian. Kudos to you and to the team. And I know it's blossoming every single day. And it really starts with the strength and the power of yourself, having that right mindset, right? because as a newer agent being in this industry for, 3 years, you really propelled yourself to really know and understand. You said earlier that you were in the corporate, it was a very cutthroat, and then you transition into real estate, which is like, wait a minute, this is not the same, it's a balance, because there is, in sales is a very cutthroat industry, but it's how you adapt, but more so is how you come across, right?
Yeah.
You can be that cutthroat agent, but you can also be that professional, right? And go through the motions and know and understand that it's not about the agents, it's really about your clients, the buyer or the seller.
Yeah.
So yeah, 100% on that. So what's
And
next?
absolutely, sorry, so I mean, just to add to what you just said, and I don't mean to say that there aren't cutthroat agents, absolutely. I just appreciate the ones that are brokers. There definitely are, different partners, and that's how I do partner up with different agents. My San Gabriel Valley agent out there, she deals with a very different clientele. A lot of them, sorry, I'm Chinese, so they're from China, and they're just a different kind of client. And she's always telling me, like, Lillian, you assume the best of everyone. Not everyone's a nice person, okay? I know South Bay, everyone's really nice, but not everyone's a nice person. So, there really are those. Again, it's again leveraging everybody's different experience, and I've learned, and I continue to learn so much from other agents about, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. I mean, some of the ways some of these agents cut corners or try to screw each other is quite amazing. I'm always like, if you spend so much time thinking about how to screw other people, you might as well just focus on your business. My goodness. But yeah, more to your point.
Yeah, love that. So what's next for Lillian? What does 2022 look like for you?
So on a personal level, 2022 is a little bit different because I'm actually 6 months pregnant right now. So it's definitely an interesting time. I'm so glad I transitioned into this career, so it allows the flexibility. Literally the day I found out I was pregnant, I actually signed on Gordon, who's on my team now. And he has been a gift from God to help me. He's a new agent, hungry, super diligent. So it's been really awesome to, again, leverage that relationship. I know he's going to pull up a lot of the bulk of it, along with my partners like Maeve and all these other people in the area who can help me out. I am one of those people, they say I'll know different once I have my kid, but I am one of those people, I do plan to go back. I want to be working. I want to be a mom, but I also want to be balancing it out with working. So I think aside from giving birth in March, outside of that, I kind of want to keep grooming the people on my team, growing business, kind of get into different realms like this new client I have. Some of the partners are doing syndication, and obviously continue to help all the clients that I currently have purchase. Hopefully, I would say in the last 2 years, predominantly, I'm still on the buy side as a newer agent. I do have my listings, but I would definitely hope that some of these buyer clients will now sell. And so kind of transition into a listing side. But I have to say, I actually really love the buy side too. There's something about helping them find a new home that, especially first-time home buyers, that's really fulfilling and rewarding for me.
And that was going to be my follow-up question, Lillian. What is your niche? What do you like working on? And what is it the main focus, and what helped you scale from 2020 to 2021? But I think you answered. I think it's more of a transitional working with buyers. But yes, as long as you keep tabs with these buyers who purchase, 2, 3, 5 years from now, they become sellers, and they end up selling because they either want to relocate, upgrade, move to a different community. So it's keeping close tabs with them.
Yeah. And I should be doing, I imagine if I actually did my CRM and marketing and follow up, the way I do it, I'm actually in the midst of it. I don't know if you guys can see behind me, there's like this whole shelf of t-shirts and everything. So once a year, I actually do send out, it's probably my own marketing I invest in. I send out holiday gifts. My whole thing is #grateful. So I send out products, and I'm more practical, so I don't really want to send them they don't need. So it's either t-shirts. This year it's baby onesies, pet bandanas, and kitchen mitts, just with grateful. And I don't have Lillian Wang real estate slapped all over it. It's like they know it's me and whatnot. So once a year, that's actually, I use that opportunity to really reconnect with people, see how they are. The new buyers, I love going to see what they did to the home. Me personally, I just love seeing what they do and how they made it their own. But yeah, that's sort of what I do. And hopefully I'm hoping, in that annual toucher, what I should be contacting them more often, but hopefully some of them will transition into selling.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit, and how do you get buyers? What is the attraction, but more so, how do you loop in buyers and so successful to convert them and ultimately close the deal with them?
So again, right now I'm 100% referral. The ones that come from other agents, it helps because they already usually have a relationship with the buyer and they tell them, this is we kind of phrase it where it's like it's an extension of that team, right? Um, I kind of just follow the model. I start off with a buyer's consultation, with which a lot of people don't do, and I think it's a misstep. Definitely took all the advice of my predecessor saying, you set up a time that you're ready, you have a power presentation ready to go. I call it a marketing deck because I think it sounds less stuffy than a presentation. And honestly, that presentation I just send ahead of time. And during the call, the 1 hour consultation, I'm rarely even referencing it. It's really just a conversation and making about them. And I think it really is about connecting with them, making them feel heard, making them feel understood. And I think accidentally in the beginning, I started out, as a new agent, I'm kind of walking them through the process because I'm sort of refreshing the process myself. Like, what is the process, the different contingencies, whatever. And in doing that, I think that's why I kind of work with first-time home buyers. They kind of really appreciate the breakdown. They're like, oh, okay, it's really clear. I'm so glad you broke this down with me. And I do follow up with people, but I tend to do and just be upfront with them. It's like, you do not need to take the pressure off. Like, you do not have to go with me. I understand you want to interview. I would interview with different people. And I always say it's like dating, right? It's just like, I'm not going to take it personally. There's either click or there's not. I use a phrase that Maeve uses that I love, which is, I never want to work with anyone who doesn't want to work with me, which is so true, right? Because there's even people you want to work with in the beginning, and then mid-transaction, you're like, oh my God, you're a different person. Anyway, so I don't know, like, I think working with buyers, yeah, I think it's also just the hustle, following up with them. It's funny because people really, to this day, they still think that it's our job to find them the property. But with Zillow, Redfin, whatnot, I always tell them, like, most likely, and I kind of prep them ahead, like, most likely you're going to find the property. And us agents, we're not just about showing the property. There's actually a lot more to the whole transaction than just showing property all day long. And so, yeah, I guess it's just transparency with them, and building
Yeah,
a relationship.
you hit so many levels with me, and this is the reason I was chuckling a little bit, laughing a little bit, because I had a same conversation yesterday with one of our agents. The importance of transparency, understanding the process, knowing that it's a loyalty, and if you're not completely happy, we'll rip the contract. I don't want you to think obligated or forced to work with me. And I think that's the sense that buyers feel at ease, right? To feel
Absolutely.
comfortable. And the follow-up, the relationship, right? It's like you're very excited in the very beginning, it's like a relationship, and ultimately taking that ride, but sometimes it just doesn't work. It's not a good fit, their expectations, they're not realistic, right? And, is it worth time, effort, and energy when someone does not see eye to eye with you, and that might be a good time. Remember, just as much as the individual buyer can terminate the agency, you also have the right to terminate them as well. You don't have to. And, when you do a lot of volume of business, it's okay to let go. It's okay. More opportunity, like you said, Lillian, tenfold, right? When you give, you'll get back tenfold. And I'm a true believer. I'm a good testament to that I give, and somehow it does come back in one way or another. So I love what you said, and the importance. And I know you and I've had some challenges and battles with some
I was just about to mention that. Talk about firing clients. Simon and he went through this thing with me earlier this year. That was right when I learned I was pregnant. I was like, this is just not worth a miscarriage. Like, this is just not worth it. And Simon you were so encouraging. You're just like, let's handle it. You managed to get me a referral fee out of it. Cause I was just at a point where I'm like, and sometimes, you do handle these clients, and even if you've done that one, we already opened escrow, like you already did all the work, but I know up ahead, there's going to be that much more headache. And in my head, I'm thinking that's going to take me away from the 3 other escrows I have going on, right? And to your point, it's so much easier to let that one go, take good care of the clients who actually appreciate me, and find other business. It's fine. It's really okay. Because I think sometimes I get trapped into it. Like I have to do it. And it's like the beauty of this business is you really don't have to. It's great. You can refer it out. You can give it to somebody else. That was
Yeah.
so stressful. Thanks, Simon.
Oh yeah, and it's my commitment, and the commitment of all the team leaders. We're all committed to helping you in your success as well. It's a relationship too as well. Our goal is to help you guys through the process. We always think everything's going to be fine and dandy, but when the shit hits the fan, that's when you need that leverage and that support. Just like Maeve, I love Maeve. And it's so good to see Maeve on the call. But yeah, it's who you align yourself with can really help you take your business where you want it to go and the importance of it. So love that. Love that. All right. Well, this is a great opportunity for anyone on the call to ask questions with, having Lillian on the call. So anyone have any questions for Lillian?
I have a comment.
Yeah, please.
Hi, Lillian.
Hey, Sophia. Thanks for
I
signing
just,
in.
I want to say it's not even a question. It's more of a comment. I got my license also, like, I guess, around the same time, except 2 years later. I got it March of this year. And I know Lillian got hers, or started working March of 2019. But I can tell you right now, Lillian is the best of the best. She has helped me while she had all these other escrows going on and all these other clients. She was always available to take my calls and walk me through and my breakdowns and everything. So I just want to say I'm so grateful for Lillian. She's awesome.
I paid her to say this.
And she's super smart. She knows the business like nobody. She's awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Sophia.
She's very humble.
She definitely is. Awesome. Oh, cool. Anyone else? Okay. Well, Lillian, I really, really, really appreciate you. You are phenomenal. Keep up the good work. Congratulations on the new baby. Super happy. But we're here for you, anything that we can do. And, again, thank you for taking the time of your busy morning, especially on the Friday, to, provide us with some insights on, the transparency of your business. We look forward to 2022, and let's crush it.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Simon. Thanks everyone for your time.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Thanks again. Have a phenomenal, wonderful afternoon and a great weekend. Go crush it, guys. And we'll see you on the next Producer's Mindset. Take care now.